Hello. Oh, I just hit something accidentally. Can you guys hear me? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Sydney and Gary and Melina and Brenda. Woohoo!
Hello, everybody.
Brenda and Brenda. Hello, everybody. Pamela.
Hi, honey.
Hey,
Hey, Freddie.
all right. Everybody's loading up here. This is the
Cindy
funnest
and
part.
Gary.
Saying hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, that and changing my name. Okay, Marianne.
Uh-oh. You better be you.
Me. And I had to be careful. Some people have sent me messages thinking they were messaging Tom. And I'm reading it going, oh, I don't think they were talking to me. So I want to be very cognizant.
Watch your things.
All right.
Sheesh. I was just going to go into the bedroom where it's
Welcome, everybody. If you want to come on and announce yourself and then mute, that'd be great.
All right, you got Mark there in Ohio. How's everybody doing?
Mark, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Lanny.
Hey, Mark. Lanny.
And,
Hi, sweet Lanny.
Woohoo.
there. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Mark, you look way too relaxed. Are you going to be eating too? I always tease everybody if they eat, Cindy, while we're on this, because I'm always starving right about now.
Oh, my gosh. Your cats like cucumbers, Cindy.
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
I love those videos where the cucumbers scare the cats. It makes me laugh so hard.
All right, so what else do we got going on here? Just looking. All right, cool. We got a couple more minutes, so if you want to. Oh, Colin, Howard, you're eating too? Really? Oh, I think Gary's chewing as well.
I'm going to have some tea, but that's it. I already had dinner.
I'm drinking my water. Actually, I'm gonna need a tiny bit. Hey, Jane. Did you make it, Jane? When you get down here. All right, what do we got here? The radio today. Oh, it says, wait a minute here.
Yay, Cindy, you quit smoking?
Woo!
Yay!
Nice, Cindy.
Awesome.
Good job, Cindy.
Good job.
Woohoo! Let's see.
She's voraciously eating something over there.
I'm
Cucumbers
proud
with her
of you,
cat.
Cindy. I'm starving.
I'm listening to a conference.
All right, so you have to detox, Cindy. Detox.
That's what the cucumbers are for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somebody told me the peppermint dots, and somebody told me they were using this to kind of like take throughout the day. That kind of help the peppermint dots. Yeah. All right, okay. All right, you guys.
Yes, that's good stuff.
We got about 45 seconds.
Hi, Marianne. It's Bob in Oregon.
Bob, welcome.
Thanks.
All right, 30 more seconds. Come on, come on. We're up to 18. Let's get a few more people on here. Oh, do some first, subscribe on this. All right, who's honking? Is that Bob?
No, it's not me.
Oh, all right. Okay, we're getting ready to go.
I am driving by semi, though.
You're not? Okay. I'm going to mute everybody. Except for me. All right, you guys, I want to welcome you to the Zoom. Tom is Zooming home, so he's not on yet, but he'll be here in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I think he mentioned something on the Hair on Fire call that he was going to have Pamela Schwartz share some stuff with us, and I'm excited to find out what she's going to be talking about. So we're going to start off with her. And Pam, you are unmuted, and I'm giving you the big screen.
Oh, perfect. Whew,
All right.
that's a little too close. Okay. I don't know if I need some more light or what, but I don't like that big screen. So anyway, okay, guys, here's the deal. What everybody always says, I don't know anybody. How do I meet somebody? What do I need to do? And I had learned from one of my wonderful mentors, Jenny Smith, that there are these things called meetup groups. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to a meetup group. I hadn't before a couple of months ago. And last night I had a really, really great experience because it was very different from the first meetup group that I had ever attended. And where you can go, and Marianne, if you can help maybe type in for me while I go, if you guys go to meetup.com, then you can find groups in your area, and you can be very specific about, I live in, I'm outside of Jacksonville. I live in Fleming Island, Florida, so Northeast Florida. So thank you, Cindy. So anyway, if you look for these meetup groups in your area and with different specificity according to things that matter to you, like there may be ones that are relative to nutrition or health and wellness, or moms groups or church groups, or there's so many different kinds of ways that you can get connected with different people and find people that you may have a common interest with, and therefore and hobbies. Great, Marianne. Yes, different hobbies. Like there could be a fishing group, or there could be dancing, and there's people that get together to read books and go to movies, and there's all different kinds. But there are ones that are also people who are looking for sharing an opportunity or finding an opportunity. But what I find is that when you go to these meetup groups, because you already know that these people are open, it's a very much more conducive atmosphere to creating a good relationship foundation. And I also want you to stop and pause if you're participating in the 65 and a wake up. And as you go forward, I want you to really keep that in mind about the interview process and how important it is to build relationships with people. That's really what this is about. And when you have similar likes and proclivities, that's going to foster an easier way for you to get connected with them on a much deeper level. And when you do that, that's when the walls start to come down, because people are by nature very skeptical. They always feel like somebody's trying to take something from them in many case scenarios. They get to know, like, and trust you. Perfect. Absolutely. So, 65 and a wake up. It's a private group that Tom and Denise created based upon a book that Denise was reading. And in the book, it talks about becoming a professional network marketer on the 66th day. And so we're calling it 65 and a wake up, because when you wake up on that 66th day, if you're consistently doing the same activities and you're creating better habits, you are going to it's going to create an atmosphere for you to always do the right things. And Tom was talking about today, right? The book is The One Thing. Perfect. I don't remember the author. I haven't read the book, but I do like the concept. Tom did a video. I think it may have been yesterday, and he talked about habits versus discipline. And habits are things that just come naturally to you because they are things you've done over and over and over again. And there really has very little thought going into it. And if you are friends with me and know me, that I always talk about Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. And it's very much about replacing bad habits with good habits, that it's going to make a big difference in your life, because all of a sudden, instead of doing those things that are taking your time away, taking your energy away, taking your money away and your efforts, now you're doing the right, quote unquote, right things that are going to help promote you for whatever your level of success is. And success can be being a better parent. Success can be being a better spouse. It could be just taking better care of yourself, the things that you need to do for changing your diet. Like for today, we have to all give kudos to Cindy for quitting smoking. I am so excited, and that makes my heart sing. I'm just joyful to hear that she is now replacing a bad habit. What's she replacing it with? Cucumbers. Yay. So she's making herself better. She's making herself happy, and she's making her cats happy, because oddly enough, her cats happen to like cucumbers. If you want to have a real belly laugh, look up cats afraid of cucumbers, and you will find a plethora of videos. Thank you, honey. You'll find a plethora of videos of cats that are terrified of cucumbers. I don't know why. Maybe they look like snakes. I'm not quite sure, but it is pretty hysterical. So in any event, getting together in these meetup groups is a way for you to connect on a deeper level. And remember, you don't want to be too quick to throw up what it is that your intention is. And if your intention is to grow your business and you want to share all the goodness, yes, we'll make that a meetup group, Marianne. If you jump all over them right off the bat, you're going to turn them off, they're going to run away, and you're going to still have that sick feeling in your stomach about, oh boy, I did a really crummy job and I didn't make a new friend. Really go there with the intention of making a friend, being a better listener. Remember, 2 ears versus 1 mouth. You want to listen more than you speak. And the cool thing that I got to participate in last night was a thing called speed networking. Okay. I have never been speed dating. That happened way after I was out of the dating market. I didn't have to deal with any of that silliness, but it actually seems to be a pretty reasonable way to connect with different people, but not be so attached to them. Because sometimes what can happen, and you'll find this when you start participating in meetup groups, is that there may be a proclivity for someone to want to talk with you more than you really need to be connected with them. What was neat about speed networking is there were tables set up with numbers on them, and you came into the room and you filled out a name tag, and on your name tag there was a number and it was a color. And so I found out afterward that the red labels were those people that stayed at the table, and the blue labels were the people that would move at the end of a time period that was specified to the next table. So we actually, the woman who was coordinating this event said that this is one of the most popular or most there were the most number of people that she had at this particular event. There were 19 that had registered before. And just so you know how these kind of work, it'll depend upon the group itself, and you can go into the group and review them and see what it is that they're looking for, what they offer, how much it costs, because typically they are renting space in a restaurant or a bar or a building, and so they have to pay the overhead for that. So they will often say $5 at the door, or they want to know beforehand so they can figure out how many people will be coming. This particular one, it was $10 to register, and it included appetizers while you were there. Now, this is at a place called the Wine Bar in Jacksonville Beach, which is almost an hour away from my house, but I know the area relatively well because I used to live over that way. And so I knew I wouldn't be drinking, but I did know that most of the people at the tables would have a glass of wine. And sometimes when people have a glass of wine, they tend to be a little bit more amenable. And there were a lot of happy people that were just really excited to meet each other. And each time you sat down at a table, you had 6 minutes for this particular event. So each person had 3 minutes to discuss why they were there. And so I really had to restrain myself. And I'm excited that when Tom does come in, he's going to be talking about contact mapping in more detail, because now as we go forward in this 65 and a wake up, and to further that, this is about creating better habits so that we can do small, simple activities on a daily basis that will lead to our greater success in the future. So that's for the question that came up about that. That's really what it is. And it's kind of not only founded on that book, but also on the concept of like an AA program where you need to do one day at a time. So if you can handle 2 interviews and 1 3-way call, which can also be a referral to an expert source of information, then you have accomplished your requirement for the day. And we are now, I am now on day 36. Yes, you can still join. Find it on Facebook, 65 and a Wake Up is what it's called. So 65 and a Wake Up, right? There you go. Perfect. So request to be joined. And there are administrators, Tom and Marianne and Lorene, and they will, they'll reach out and make sure, first of all, are you committed to doing this? Because it does take a commitment level. And those of us who are in it are very, very serious about achieving the goal. So right now I'm in day 36. So I have 30 more to go. And I have seen a tremendous shift. And the funny thing is where you have these 2 interviews and 1 3-way, all of a sudden I'm tripping over the activities on a daily basis. And so where I thought it was going to be very, very difficult to manage, as time progresses, when these activities become habits, then all of a sudden things are moving in your favor. To go back to what we talked about, the difference between habits and discipline, habits are those things that become rote. They're things that you do automatically, whereas discipline takes conscious effort to make that thing happen. And so I really thought that was really great. Tom is just incredible that he comes up with these words of wisdom. I mean, it's just a divine thing to see him in action when he does this stuff. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for whenever you come together in a mastermind capacity, it's going to elevate everyone in the group. And my enroller and very dear friend, Mike Battistelli, always says that a rising tide raises all ships, right? So we're all getting the benefit. Even, when people feel that point of, I didn't make it, I didn't do it, it's okay, because you're starting at square one, you're starting back at day 1, but you get to the point where now we've got nowhere to go but up. And I love you, Cindy. Thank you, sweetheart. So when you get to that point, you have the ability to lift each other up and say, you can do this. It's okay. We're here together, and be real. And there are days, I know I have done it, and often it's Monday, that Monday, we're just so depressed and down, and we're getting back into that normal routine. Even though I don't have a 9-to-5 job that I have to go to, Monday is typically the start of a week. And we get to that point of saying, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this again. I've done this for this many days, and I'm just so discouraged. And then I stop. There was one day that was really bad, and it was more because I had gotten emotionally attached to the outcome. And it was about a friend, and she and her 3 children have all come close to death because of health issues. And she was supposed to be coming with me to go see Doc in Gainesville. And I had been planning it for weeks and weeks, and I was so excited because all I want to do is to be able to help her on her journey, to be able, hey, Tommy, all I wanted to do is to be able to help her because I love her so much. And it was heart-wrenching because she called me because her husband had said, coming in from out, that he travels a lot with his business, I'm out of town, and I decided that I've sold my car, and I want to go buy a new car, and you have to come with me. And she called me and was really crestfallen. I mean, her heart was broken, and I was too. And I just was like, I don't know if I can even do this anymore. I mean, it just was so painful. And I said, the other voice in my head, and we talk about that voice, the little jerk who sits on your shoulder that tells you, you can't do this. You're not going to be able to accomplish this. And then you always have to remember, you've got, love you too, Marianne, you have the other good guy on your shoulder. And what is really awesome is when you see this battle happen, right? And what's really interesting is that the Bible tells us that there is a constant spiritual battle going on around us that we can't see, angels and principalities. And so we know that there's a bad guy here, and we know that there's a good guy here. And when you see the good guy beating out the bad guy, and you're like, yes, I can do this. And so the good guy is saying to me, whispering in my ear, don't listen to him. Do not. Now what you need to do is you need to go to your toolbox and you need to pull out everything that you can muster in order to get over this and be able to get beyond it, get through it, get beyond it, and get back up into that point of elevation so that you can go on and help other people. It's okay. She'll still be there. You will still love her. It's okay. And it's not to say that they don't matter. It's to say it's not their time right now. And that is a really hard thing to do, I know, when you love somebody. And the toughest people are the people that are our friends and family, are the hardest ones to be able to convince, right? When we say convince, we're not supposed to be convincing. We're supposed to be sharing with people. But those are the people that we care about most, right? And so what these meetup groups do is give you an opportunity to meet complete strangers. They do not have preconceived notions about who you are. You know that they're there for an opportunity as well, and that they're open. And so it gives you the freedom to get out there and have the confidence and know that everybody in the room is just as nervous as you are about sharing their story. And then what was hard, and Tommy, I can't wait for the contact mapping to come together for this, but one thing that I found difficult in this exercise of going from table to table to table with just 6 minutes was that I needed to be able to hear their heart. And you can do this. When you are interviewing somebody, it doesn't have to be forever. But if you ask the right questions, and if you think about the coffee shop interview, but don't ask it like you're asking from a list. You need to understand that coffee shop interview like you are really invested in this person and you're paying attention to every word, and you need to then pick the scab. And that's a real gross reference, but it's perfect because you want to get to the thing that's going to wake them up at 2 a.m, the thing that really matters to them, that pops their eyes open and makes them stop and say, wow, this is the thing that I need. And so, for example, I met this really great young realtor woman, and we were talking, and I said, okay, so we actually talked before the whole thing started, and she had just started another nutritional company 2 weeks ago and was very, very excited. And so I was thinking of Tom when he was talking about the woman in the other company, and he's saying, so who do you have as a mentor? What are they doing for you? I'll be happy to help give you some information. And just having that relationship and hearing that, finding out that she and her husband don't have children because she has a medical circumstance that she cannot have children. And so there was really deep stuff that happened. And so when you got to the table, I had feedback there. When you get to that table and you're sitting there and they say, okay, you got 3 minutes. And so you try to be as concise to talk about why you're there. And then you have to really stop, let them talk, and then start asking your questions because they have not had the same training that we have. So we really are at an advantage. We have the ability to sit back and really, really get close to them for as much as we can. So if you can tell your story in a concise manner, and remember, you've got that 30-second or 60-second elevator story of yours that everyone should have in their back pocket, use that. And then let them talk and start asking questions and start relating. Okay, Cindy, what's your question?
Thank you. What do we got?
I see Cindy has questions.
Where is she?
Yeah, she's wondering what an elevator story is.
Oh, okay. An elevator story is when you're, the time when you're in an elevator standing there talking to somebody. It's very brief, but you want to be able to get to the point and talk about your circumstance or your situation real quick, and you can connect with people on that level. And often what I don't have a specific elevator story per se, but I have a way to be able to respond to someone based upon what I hear from them. So I look very much to connect with them in whatever they say first. And I'll say, oh, okay, so you don't have kids. Well, do you have fur babies? And she's like, oh, as a matter of fact, I do have fur babies. And I'm like, well, okay. So, and she goes, I never thought of it that way, but they really are my baby. And yes, my husband and I are very happy. And what I heard her say was, I am looking for something to fill in the downtime that can be monetarily productive when I'm not selling a house. Bam.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Then
She
you-
gave that to me.
Cool. Very cool. All right. We've got Tommy on here. Tommy, are you there?
Yeah, also, I want you to unmute Adrian and Callie. They're
Okay.
on the screen too.
All right.
Okay, you guys, this is going to be a riot. I'm so happy to talk to you. The elevator pitch. I have the great elevator story, and it's unbelievable. Somebody looks at me in an elevator and say, what do you do? I go, I'm on parole. What about you? And they shut up immediately and they go, oh, we don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about me for a while. And all you really want to do is get rid of your story anyway and get yourself to a point where you're talking about them. So that just works like a charm. That is the ultimate icebreaker. And so today I promised you guys a bunch of cool stuff. And one of them is how to talk about contact mapping. This speed dating, speed networking, speed dialing thing is absolutely perfect because it gets you out of your head into your heart. Everybody is throwing up on you with some sort of proposition, and on the other side of the coin, you are zeroing in on what's in it for them, and I promise you, it will work every time. So I noticed Brandy just left because I started speaking. Somebody call Brandy Brogdon at home and tell her how happy I am about that, please. So anyway, this is, I can see everybody that joins in.
Disconnected, just so you know.
What?
Sometimes they get disconnected. So
All right, well, I saw, okay, good. Well, you know how I am. I need a psychiatrist most of the time.
It's all about you.
Okay, so I need you guys to know that you are test tube babies. And I am telling you that because what's going to happen to you next, and congratulations to those of you that are on day 36 and 37 in the, on the 65 and a wake up, you bounce the ball that many days in a row, you're actually ahead of our badges. And I'm not very happy about that. And what that, look at Marianne's face. So Marianne's like, oh no, I can't believe he's busting me. But what I want to do is in Alcoholics Anonymous, if you've got 24 hours sober and you bounce the basketball one day in a row, we celebrate that. And then if you do it 2 days in a row, we celebrate that. We celebrate it a week. We celebrate at 30. We celebrate at 60. And we celebrate at 90. Because you guys are doing extraordinary things that nobody else can do. And if you look at how many people are putting days in a row in all of the hundreds of people in 65 and a wake up right now, it is unbelievably hard to bounce that basketball every day with 2 interviewers and 1 3-way call. And it's so hard that I'm letting some of you off the hook a little bit. You call up and say, hey, listen, Tom, I got 4 interviews today. I didn't do any yesterday. Will you let me off the hook? In Alcoholics Anonymous, you'd go all the way back to the beginning. I don't care if I have a drink today, 28 years later, I have 1 drink. I decided to drink a beer because it was hot as hell outside. I walk into the meeting and say, I still want my 28 years. And they're going to say, you should have thought about that before you had the cocktail. So all of you have no idea how nice a guy I am because I'm not going to do that to you. So I want you to know that bouncing this basketball day after day after day is the way that you build a habit. And I'm going to go back to AA for a second again. When you go into AA and you come out of a treatment center, 28 days, the first thing that they say to you when you come into the outside world is you have to do 90 and 90. And people, I mean, and when you first walk into AA, the first thing they say to you is you have to do 90 and 90. And you go, what does 90 and 90 mean? And that means 90 meetings in 90 days. And 90 meetings in 90 days is a heck of a lot of meetings. And the first thing that every alcoholic says is, I don't have time to do 90 meetings in 90 days. You have no idea how busy I am. I have to be with my kids. I have to do this. I have to do that. And you have to literally reinvent your life and do 90 meetings in 90 days. And we hold you accountable to that because we know it's going to take you that long to develop the habit. Because of this guy's father-in-law that I'm going to introduce in a second, a guy named John Collins, and because of Denise Chenault, and because of some research out there, 66 days is the number that is the number of days that you have to have in order to develop a habit. And I want you to develop this habit like you've never developed a habit before. If you look at my walk every morning, I have that habit developed. And it is really an unnatural act for me to not follow my habit of walking to my AA meeting, doing the hair on fire call, doing all those things. So I have done it, and I know that this works. And if you heard the fervor and the absolute passion and the obsession in Pamela Schwartz's voice when she was talking about how much she loves this process now, it's because she's gone over the hump. And that is unbelievable. And in Alcoholics Anonymous, that's something called the pink cloud. And what that means, and it's pretty cute, because everything is going so well for Roxana, everything is going so well for Pamela, and everything is going so well for that. God, I can't believe her name. The mother, who's the woman whose mother's
Lorette.
in hospice? Huh?
Oh, Lorette
Not
Willis?
Lorette, the other one. I want to come down to Lorette in a minute.
Oh, Lori? No.
No, Danette, somebody like that.
Dana? Danny?
Her mother is in hospice. I mean, that's got to shorten the list down quite a way.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of who that is.
Oh, she's Lorette's lady. I know who she is. Okay, so the whole thing is this. My hair looks awful nice.
Is it Susie? Susie Schiffer? No.
No. I'll
I'm
find it.
sorry.
You're doing great. So anyway, she's developing the muscle. Her mother she's moving into an apartment, and to be closer to her mother, but she's so on this track and it's so working for her that she is absolutely not going to waver. Lorette Willis was on this track before. Robin Tanner was on this track before. And now everybody's got form where you guys are picking up the ball and helping people like Robert Estes. You're helping people like Bill Richardson. You're helping people like Chris Sanchez. He was looking down. Okay, see, his head was like this, so I said his name just to make him look up. That was pretty funny. Okay, so here's the deal, you guys. I am the least technological guy you've ever met. The reason that you don't have the badges yet is because Marianne is the technical person, and she's working on them, but she's also got massive things in her life, so she isn't able to help me get those badges to you. Otherwise, I could have done it myself. So what you don't know about
it's Lori,
my life,
Lori Danette.
Lori Danette, I love her. Somebody tell her that I love her and I shout it out to her. So here's the deal. In about, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 11, my son graduated from Trinity University down in San Antonio, Texas. And as a result of that, he got all these accolades. He was summa cum laude. All kinds of people wanted to hire him. South Texas Investment Advisors finally beat out Lehman Brothers in New York and all these big firms. And Adrian ended up going out there and going to work for the South Texas Investment Advisors. He found out pretty quickly that he didn't really like that popcorn popper, and he went to work for a company called Rackspace. And at Rackspace, he ended up being a senior analyst. But one day, and I can't remember if it was just when he graduated or whatever, that I said, when are you going to be ready to go into multi-level marketing? And he said, Dad, just let me forge my own path. And I loved him, and I let him forge his own path. And his own path was a meteoric rise. And he ended up going to London, and then he ended up going to Sydney, Australia, and then he ended up going to Zurich, Switzerland. And inside of that, he had 3 babies. And he came back here for Christmas, and he saw our lifestyle. And with those 3 babies and this extraordinary, unbelievable wife of his, he said, there's got to be more to my life than Rackspace. It's got to be more to my life than that corporate ladder. And he didn't tell me that. But what he did then was he jumped off the dock into the black water. And that means he decided to come home to Longmont, Colorado to live, to build a company with his dad. And the company that he's going to build is twofold. One is a big network marketing business, but the other one is something called, we haven't named it yet, that is going to completely revolve around contact mapping. And so he's working with his friend, a guy named Rick Manelius. And Rick Manelius got his PhD at age 32 from MIT. And that's kind of good. But what's really extraordinary about Rick is he got his undergrad from MIT too. And any of you parents with high school kids trying to get into college, you know how tough that is for one of those kids to get into MIT. This kid is a rocket scientist, and Adrian and Rick, Adrian specifically, are going to build this app that I keep talking to you about with contact mapping, where you are literally going to have your phone do all the work for you, where you're going to go to this app and it is going to say, you're going to put in Tom Chenault, and then you're going to put my phone number and you're going to hit save. And it's going to say, wait a minute, Hollywood, do you have a picture of Tom? And you're going to say, well, I don't want to take a picture of Tom right now. It would be kind of creepy. Or I do want to take a picture of Tom right now. And you look at Tom and say, can I snap a pic? Which Adrian in a minute is going to tell you that, I know, Cindy, we are hurrying. And at the end of the day, then the app is going to pop up the microphone and it's going to say, what else do you know about Tom? And you're going to speak in to the notes. Look at everybody clapping, Adrian. And unmute him, Marianne. And at the end of the day, it's going to say, what else do you know about Tom? And the microphone's going to pop up, and that's going to populate straight into your notes in your contacts. And then you're going to say, well, I can't do that right now. The guy's sitting right here. So now if you're like Lanny Sharp at 7 o'clock at night, that's when she goes to bed so she can do the Hair on Fire call in the morning. Her phone, when she sets her phone up for 7 o'clock at night and she goes to bed, and right as she goes to bed, her phone's going to say, wait a minute, Lanny, you can't go to bed yet. You put Tom Chenault in your phone for some reason. Don't you have anything you want to say about him so you don't forget? So then this information is going to be in your notes. But what's so beautiful about that is with all the technology today, and don't you guys get scared about technology, because I'm going to tell you why this is so beautiful. All your data is aggregated in the notes, and we are able to cross-section with literally everything going on. So your follow-up problems, your search problems, everything are going to be absolutely at your fingertips. And the reason that Rick Manelius is even a friend of Adrian is because I ran into Rick Manelius, and he needed a favor from somebody else that went to MIT. I put MIT into my notes because I've been contacting people forever, and I popped that up, and here came a guy from MIT that was able to do Rick that favor. It blew his head off, and that's what said, I've got to be more involved with Adrian Chenault. And that's what's so cool. So what we're doing is we are digitizing your life. And the reminders of your follow-up and all these things are going to be unbelievable because you want to contact map, before I come to Adrian, literally everybody on the planet that you meet. You want to be, stop, all these people keep hanging up. It's making me crazy. Am I boring you? Or are you, come on, stop doing that. Is my hair too messed up? So stop it. Okay, Ralph, you're lucky. So here you go. What I'm trying to tell you guys is contact mapping is nothing more than mapping contacts. So as you speak to these people, as you meet these people, you remember them, because nobody appreciates anything more than literally being remembered in life. Anything. You don't go to your favorite restaurant. I'm going to take all of you guys when you come to Longmont to Two Dog Diner. Well, the food sucks. It tastes like they cooked the dogs. But the fact of the matter is, the reason I love Two Dog Diner is because the guy cooked with Julia Child. I walk in the door, everybody goes, oh, Tom, we love you. You guys see everybody loves me, so you're going to love me more, because all we do is want people to love us. Does that make sense? So we're changing your life. It is, yeah, no kidding. It is unbelievably magic what's happening here. And I am so excited to introduce you to my partner and my son, Adrian Chenault. Adrian, say hi.
Hey everybody. It's been very cool. I've been kind of watching this whole thing in the background, and when Dad told me that he was going to put together this group, I thought it was a pretty cool idea, but I didn't have any idea what it was going to be. And it is magical because, you know, what you guys are doing is hard, and it's hard to do it every single day, and to interview two people and to three-way call somebody every day if you're doing that in a vacuum. And you might have a great upline or you might not have a great upline or whatever it is, but when you have a community.
Oh, where'd you go? Unmuted by the host.
Oh no, did he get knocked off? Did you guys have his face? Were you able to see him too?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you saw him go, she had him on the big screen?
No.
No, we saw him on the small screen.
So he'll be back in a second, and we'll put him on the big screen. He is just the nicest kid you ever want to meet in your life. And what happened was he talked to all these guys, this Brad Feld from MIT who did Fitbit, and he also did this company called Guitar Hero, and he's got a couple $2 billion. And he told the whole thing was Adrian, you know, when he left Rackspace, he did that after massive research. And basically, they told him to interrupt a space that he could vastly improve that was already good. And that's where you guys are. He's got great respect for network marketing. He's got great respect for you guys and your lifestyle. He's ugly, but that's okay. We just put you on the big screen, so we're looking at you now. So Adrian, tell him. I mean, you know, give him. You know, right now, your notes are the ticket. And speaking into your phone, your appointments and things like that versus Excel spreadsheets are probably more powerful. It's going to get even more powerful than that. And Adrian and I are working at blaze speed to give you. No, we lost you, Adrian. When did we lose you? Do you remember where he was? Anybody remember where he was when we lost him? He was talking about what you said is hard. And this room and this community is so great. And, you know, Adrian's been in here every inch of the way. You guys just didn't notice him. He's been watching the way you guys comment, watching the way that you interact and play together. And here's a kid that has worked at, you know, a $7 billion company at a really, really high level. And his hat's off to every one of you. So keep going.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. Sorry, that was bad timing. So I'm really excited about what you guys are doing and the momentum that you're building. And I think what I'm excited about is that I think it's transformative. And, you know, I obviously grew up around Tom Chenault. I've known him for a few years now. And, you know, even as his son and sitting shotgun next to him doing what he does, he makes it look like he's doing all this stuff because he has a phenomenal memory and he remembers everybody and he does all this stuff. But what you don't see and what has secretly happened in the background, and I just found this story last night, is that he takes all these notes and so he has that ability to call those things up. And so I heard this story last night. I was talking to a longtime family friend who is an investor and used to be in the brokerage business with Dad before I was born, in the late 70s or early 80s. They were working together. And he said, your dad, what you're building is something that your dad taught me how to do in 1981, and it changed my career. And what they used to do is they had a stack of 60 legal pads, and they would say, I talked to Marianne on notepad 2, page 3, lines 7 through 30. And he'd write down the notes, and, you know, Marianne, they just got a new Mustang and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he'd talk to you again in a month, and he had an index card that says Marianne's name on it. He'd pull out the index card and he'd say, now I'm on notepad 12, you know, page 57, lines 13 through 14. And he would literally be able to pull out so basically he invented the database. So they pull out the note card.
Me and Al Gore and I invented the database.
Yeah, you invented the internet. So it's unbelievable, but it is the most powerful thing that you can do, to have the ability to make people feel heard, loved, special. And the interview is the first step, because that's how you go and gather that information. But I think giving people a tool that makes it really easy and really fun and really positively reinforcing for them to do that on a daily basis, I think could transform anybody. And so that's what we want to go build. And I'm really, really pumped to work with you all. And thanks for being your unwitting test tube babies. And now you get to be knowing test tube babies. And so this is going to be really fun.
So what you guys have seen before is questions that I've asked you randomly on Facebook, like how many contacts do you have in your phone? That wasn't a random question. When you guys answered that, I've asked you so many questions that was kind of like a Tom Chenault poll of exactly why you use your phone and why your phone isn't working for you. But now we've got you guys to a log jam, which is where we wanted you to be, Pamela, where we wanted you to be, Roxana, where we wanted you to be, Robin, Tanner, and where we wanted you to be anybody else that's playing this full speed ahead. Because what's going on right now is bigger than big, because we've got you at the log jam. And now you're standing here where you're forced to contact map and you're forced to document. Have you noticed how I keep telling you? And by the way, don't you think it's unbelievable that I respond to literally every post on that 65 and a wake up? But one of the things that I always say that is so funny to you, because I was trying to set you up, was document and notate. That's all I keep telling you to do, is document and notate. Because when we come back to you, and what I wanted to do was make sure you had that data, so when Adrian and I put this thing together very shortly, we're able to actually have you pour that information in, maybe verbally, to absolutely be able to pour in. And when you see what he's created, and artificial intelligence is a tough word because it sounds too scary, but just being able to grab keywords, aggregate them, and be able to take things where you're saying, okay, this is my list of 52. My 52 that's on that circle. I don't have that iPad with me where I keep all my 52 names of my most important. This is a 52 person. This person's going over to my prospect potential. This is a network marketer that I met at GoPro that there is no way in the world that I'm going to be able to recruit them now, but I want to have a trickle down to be able to follow up with them every 6 months. Here's the data on them. You saw that Dana McGrady. She's a $50,000 a month earner over at another company that came to Longmont. She brought her whole team, Marianne will tell you, into the mousetrap called Chenault. And we just had a blast with them. And all they posted is how it was the most remarkable 4 hours they've ever spent in their life. And what they got out of that is what you guys get every day. You guys get contact mapping times 10. I have no interest in recruiting any of those people from other companies until they're ready to find me, because this is a program just exactly like Alcoholics Anonymous, of attraction, not promotion. And the person that loves the most wins. The person that remembers the most wins. The person that is the most service to people wins. It's that simple. And you know, it's just like Marianne behind the scenes. Somebody just wrote about Adrian behind the scenes. You guys know me. I am going to do nothing, and I am going to take credit for everything. But Adrian is our second secret weapon, who is going to absolutely change our lives. And we don't know, we don't know how we're going to do this thing just yet to get it out to the world. But Adrian recognized early, this worked for me in the stock business. You guys don't know this. I was one of the largest stockbrokers in the United States at one point. I was on the cover of Wall Street Journal once, and also on the cover of Investors Daily once, both with positive news. And I promise you, it was because of the contact mapping I was doing back then. And we had no technology, so it had to be on stacks of yellow pads, but it was like the Dewey Decimal System. And even though it was complicated, and I really can't believe that guy told you that, Adrian. It warms my heart that even he remembers it. And he said it launched his career. This contact mapping, this 65 and a wake up, this 2 interviews a day in 1 3-way call. I swear to you, on my mother's grave, I believe it is the ticket for you to have massive success in longevity or in your network marketing company. I accidentally posted this thing on my main wall, so there might be some people outside of our company on here. And if they are, please feel welcome. But the point I'm trying to make to you is each and every one of you can own this business by getting your agenda out of the way, getting their agenda in, not throwing up on them with anything when you first meet them. Love them, find out what they want to buy, find out what they don't want to buy, find out about everything you can about their life, and then start there. And Pamela Schwartz, unmute yourself again real quick. Or Marianne, unmute Pamela.
I'm here.
I mean, it's astounding how many leads you have now, isn't it?
Oh my, it's crazy. And I am so excited for this app. Oh, I can't even tell you. And, you know, I'm one of those people that remembers a lot. I mean, I have a retention ability, but things are just coming together so fast and furious that even I can get phone calls from patients from 10 years ago, and they'll say, hey, Pamela, this is so-and-so. I don't know if you remember me, but it's been a while. And I'll say, oh yeah, you're the one with the left rotator cuff. And how's your dog? And how's your kid? Your daughter had your first grandchild. And how's that going? And they're like, how do you remember all that? I said, because I care and I listen. And so this is going to be so helpful for me because I need to take it to the next level. And so this is really exciting. So yay.
And Adrian, Pamela went to Harvard. So this is not like a bean brain that just made that comment. So
I didn't have any doubt.
No, but wait, we've got her at this level, this intellectual level, and we've got me at this intellectual level. I'm trying to get as low as I can. And we've got everything in between. That's the accordion. And that's what's so beautiful about that, because nobody's left behind. Literally, where do you find people to talk to? They're right in front of you, Nathaniel. If you would get interested instead of interesting, and Nathaniel, come on the camera. Where is he? Can you? Can we get him?
I'm looking for him.
Okay, she's going to put you on the camera. I want to see him.
He said he's pretty new.
I don't care how new he is. Is he just getting born? So I'm pretty new.
Oh my gosh. Daniel, are you still on here?
You want to learn this or not?
I'm looking for him.
We might have ran him right out the door when we told him.
No, he's still there. I see him. There he is.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Okay, pop him on.
Okay, you're going on the big screen, Nathaniel.
Do I really have to? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Nathaniel, how are you?
I'm doing well.
What does that sweatshirt mean?
This is my 9 to 5. It's SEW Eurodrive. That's where I work.
What do you do?
CNC operator.
A CMT? What's a CMT?
No, CNC operator.
What does that mean?
Computer numeric control.
Okay, cool. What's that picture above your head, right over your head?
That's a picture of me and my wife.
And you still married to her?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How many kids do you have? How many children?
I have 3 of my own.
And how many does she have?
None.
So 3 plus 0 is still 3.
Yeah.
So we have 3. Yeah, cool. And where do you live?
We live in Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Hot dog. All right. So here's the deal, Nathaniel. And you and I talked on the phone a couple of days ago. Remember?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. And here's the deal. I love that sweatshirt. Did they give that to you when you went to work there?
Excuse me?
Did you have to pay for that sweatshirt, or did they give it to you?
I bought it from work.
You bought it?
Yeah.
Well, that's a dirty trick. You're advertising for him and they charge your money.
It was only $10.
So if I want one, you can send me a double extra large for $10.
My dog's making noise. I couldn't hear you, but
if I want one of those, I can buy one of those for $10.
We only have a sale twice a year. We'll probably have another sale in about 6 months. So I can hook
Okay,
you
good.
up.
Okay, you get me one. Now, what kind of dog is that?
This is a black lab.
Cool. All right. So far, do you think we've had a pretty good conversation?
Oh, we have, yeah.
Okay, so the reason we had such a good conversation is because we were talking about you, Nathaniel. That's why the conversation was so awesome. And the point I'm trying to make to you, 3 kids, work at CNC as a CNC operator. You live in South Carolina. You've got dogs. You're new in the business. You love your wife. You even have a picture of her above your head all the time to remind you how much you love her. And you've got her in the proper place above you. That's what you do. You meet people because you see them all the time and you compliment them on something they love about themselves. So I complimented you. I talked about your sweatshirt. I know you love your wife, or you wouldn't have a picture of you. You don't see a picture of my wife above my head. I got a carpet. So the second thing is, or a rug. And so the third thing is you obviously love your dog. I mean, the little Labrador Retriever. So the point I make, I love my wife. The point I make, Nathaniel, is people are everywhere if you will just get interested in them and stop thinking about what you're going to say to them. Just compliment them authentically about something about their life that they love, and everything is done. They will start talking and you won't be able to shut them up. And your job is to figure out where to drop them off in your life, whether it's product, whether it's obviously time, whether it's money, or if it's none of the above. Your job is to have them feeling better about themselves than they did when they got there. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
And that's all you're doing is talking to people. And you're new. And this is so much, I'm so happy that you're here. And I know that you and I, you're in my phone now. I saved it that day. And I know that together we can build this thing as partners. You've got to ask. And that's something on this board that I want you guys to do on 65 and a Wake Up is get in there and help people, and get in there and ask for help. And I know for a fact from what I've read and from what I know about my life that you have a heck of a lot easier time giving advice and helping people than you do asking for help and asking for advice. But the key to this thing and getting better is each and every one of you, Susie Schiffer, each and every, she was looking away. I love this thing. Every one of you can do this. Every one of you can do this. And all you need to do is get in the game and play it bigger than you've ever played it before. And the only way you can do that is call it on yourself and recognize you don't know it all, and recognize that people are here in this room that can help you. That's that simple. And it's probably not going to be me. And the reason it's not going to be me is because you have a story about me. I'm too busy. I'm too big. I'm too arrogant. I'm too this. I'm too that. So don't use me if you don't want to. Use somebody else. If you post on Facebook, if you post in 65 and a Wake Up, I'm going to respond to it. I promise you that. Is that cool enough?
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else got questions for Adrian or me? Anybody.
Tom, can you hear me? It's Merle.
Merle, how are you? Where are you?
I'm at home, and I have an awesome new team member by the name of Sean, and he's going to be a rock star, Sean Jones, right here. Sean, say hello.
How are you today?
Sean, I want to personally thank you for working with the incredible Merle. And I want to, Marianne, put my phone number up on the sidebar. Anytime you want to talk to me, you please call me, because I want Merle.
Well, I'm going to give you the phone number because I'm on the phone. I'm not on the Zoom, but I'll give him the number. Yeah.
I want him to make $13,000 a month so badly.
Oh, wow.
So you make $13,000 a month, so you can shut that sister of yours up. Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You remember when you told me
I
the
do
story?
remember, and thank you so much for that wonderful check. It was well appreciated.
I'll never
Man,
forget.
but
So here's the deal, you guys. Merle is non-sighted. So she carries the white cane, and she's the most adorable person I've ever met in my life. So I promised her I would give her some money for her retirement. Was it your retirement, Maureen?
Yes, retirement, yes. Mm-hmm.
So I ran into her, and she goes, Tom, you promised me you were going to give me a check for my retirement party. I go, oh, geez, Merle, I forgot. I'm going to send you the check. And she said, you know how much I want you to send? I said, how much? And she said, $13,000. It was so awesome. And I go, Merle, that might be a reach, but tell me why you need $13,000. And she was telling me about her sister, and her sister is like this doubting Thomas, for want of a better word. So I said, well, Merle, you and I are going to embark on helping shut her up. So that's my goal. But Merle, if you guys think you have an obstacle in front of you, Merle is an inspiration to the whole company, and God bless her. She's a great woman. So.
And can I say one more? Thank you. Can I say one more thing about the contact mapping? I'm so excited because this is going to be a breakthrough for blind people to be able to talk and put notes on the phone. So we just have to figure out a real good way of doing it. I have an iPhone and I have Siri and everything. I have a 6S with Verizon. So, I mean, it's going to be wonderful.
We already know how to do it, believe it or not, don't we, Adrian? You think? I think we can already digitize you.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We'll put you in.
So
Let's go offline, but we'll help you.
Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you.
I think we got that baby done. So,
okay.
So anybody else got a question or anybody else got feedback? Robin, Tanner, I don't see Roxana. You people that are playing full out, and I love you, Robert Estes, and I love you, Gary Brooks, and I love you, Susie. I love you guys that are, Trish, you're on there, Peggy, you're on there. I love the fact that you guys are in there commenting and saying that, telling me where you got a bloody nose, telling me where circumstance got hold of you. And I want you to remember, nothing's lost here. Every one of you, since you've been trying this, are better network marketers, even if you only bounced it 2 days in a row, like Marianne. No, the point is, you can do this. Okay, thank you, Melinda from Mohawk. Yeah, I already had you out of my will and I'm putting you back in. Okay, so the whole thing is, so I'm still on day one, but I'm not quitting. But what we want to do is coach you on being a better dribbler of that basketball. Because if you keep doing the same thing that's got you not bouncing it 2 days in a row or a week in a row, something's wrong, and we've got to just tweak it a little bit. But you have to put us in the game to help you. It's that simple. And this World Challenge is hand-dropped. Because not only are you going to be enrolling people yourself, Chris Sanchez, you are going to teach people to enroll people. That's what's so cool about it. And you're going to have Dave Brisky calling you on the phone like he did Bill Richardson. You're going to have accolades coming out of your ears because this contest was made, our program was made for that contest. And I was on a real high-level call that I do every Tuesday morning with just 10 people of Youngevity. And I told all those guys, because some of the muckety-mucks think that they don't want to do this contest because the prices aren't big enough or some crazy crap. And I said, you guys, this is the first contest that is rewarding right behavior in Youngevity. We aren't getting free chocolate. We aren't liking stuff. We're not sharing stuff. We are putting the spikes on. We're getting on the field. We're getting our nose bloodied. We're building bricks in people. Every one of those is a senior associate. We're building brick after brick after brick after brick after brick. We're teaching people to build bricks. And the next thing you know, everybody else is out there liking stuff on Facebook, and you have built a brick wall. Is that cool enough? End of story. So, Adrian, these people right now are looking at you going, why is that kid still on here? He should be working faster.
I'm on it.
All right. This is exciting. And today it was so exciting for you because you went up to Boulder, Colorado, which is a hotbed of tech, and that's where that Brad Feld guy is that did FitBut. He went to a meetup up there. He met some, he is dealing with the rocket scientists of this world to take this high tech, which is my son, to merge it with this high touch, which is his dad, and we're going to meet about right here, and you guys are going to be the test tube babies that make it to the top, and that's our goal. We're not going to forget you. We are not going to leave you behind. Robin Tanner, did you unmute yourself? I want to hear how you're doing before we get out of here.
Hi,
Tell
Tom,
me how it's
can you hear
going.
me?
Yeah, you're buried in Leeds too now, right?
Yes, I need this app yesterday. When you say document, I didn't know what a mess I was going to create. There's a gal on this Gleason, right?
Yeah.
She get my face off there. Anyway, she's willing to help me try to organize my mess. But oh my gosh, I have more context coming out of my ears, and my fear is that they're slipping through the cracks, that I'm going to miss them somehow.
They are slipping through the cracks. But
Yeah.
a month ago, you didn't have anything to slip through the cracks. A month ago, I didn't
have this much, but I did have some, yes.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay, so slap me. But the point is, every day, you guys, 2 people at the end of the month, you got 60. But now you're getting like a Pamela Schwartz or like a Susie, where it used to be like work to do 2 people a day. Now you cut back. I mean, Denise, are you on here? No. Everywhere we go, we are interviewing because it is good for the person on the other side of the table. It's good for the waitress. They've never had anybody ask about their life. And we don't interview them because they're prospects. We interview them as respected human beings on this planet that we can make a commitment to and a contribution to. And by asking questions about them and figuring out a little bit about their life, come on in and say hi to these people. It is Denise just got out of a late Pilates class. Adrian's on here.
Oh, I'm so thankful to have caught everybody.
And so you got to get your face in this camera.
Oh, I was looking in the wrong one.
Right.
Hi, everybody.
She just got done from exercise class and she's all sweaty and
I just put deodorant on. I'm going to change.
But the fact is she pretty enough for just a,
That's because I washed my hair earlier today. I was a little prepared.
Yeah, that's after Pilates, man. But I just
interviewed someone walking out of Pilates. I heard you, and it was there's this new esthetician next door to the Pilates, and it just so happened that she was walking out at the same time, and so I walked over and I asked her about her business. She's been open since February, and I went in, and hallelujah, she's a Mary Kay distributor. I was like, this is great because I can flip that to longevity mineral makeup in a second. So that was worth the 10 minutes.
Yeah, and somebody floated across the lake a couple of days ago in their boat, and they said it was some guy in doTERRA, and he goes, my wife doesn't know jack about what she's doing. Would you mind training my wife on how to do doTERRA right? And I said I'd be happy to. And she's going to come over and we're going to talk all about doTERRA. And then she's going to come down to the office and we're going to talk all about her and doTERRA. And we're going to talk about her and we're going to talk about her and we're going to talk about her. And all of a sudden she's going to leave that conversation and go, I love those doTERRA products. I'm still going to keep buying them, but I think I need to build a business with Tom and Denise. Yeah. And that's all you want to do is have people say that because you care so much about them. And you remind them completely, better go call Dominic. He's looking for you.
No, I already talked to him. He's trying to get a hold of you.
Okay, so the whole point, Dominic ran out of gas. So the reason I was late, our 25-year-old ran out of gas on his way to a very big deadline in Boulder about a half an hour before this call. So I called one of my misfit friends and we just flew to Boulder in our old, sitting in the Vita car, which is out there. Show him the Vita car.
Let me see. There we go. Yeah.
So we flew to Boulder in the Vita car, and then flew home to make sure I got it. That's why I was 10 minutes early. And God bless Mary Ann and Pamela Schwartz for holding the ball down. I'm very, very sorry, but it had to happen. But
You're 2 minutes late.
yeah, 10 minutes late. But you guys, we love you. We would do anything for you. You are complete and total rock stars. Adrian is going to change. Look at Adrian. See him right there?
Yes.
We're going to change the price of poker here. You guys don't know it, but you are on the leading edge of a revolution in network marketing where people are going to be treated as people instead of, and you know, here's the deal. When you're running up and throwing up on people because it's dollar signs, that's transactional. That's so stupid. When you're running up to people with your heart and loving them, that's relational. And don't be transactional. All the goofballs, yeah, all the goofballs are the ones that are transactional. And people sense it, constantly sense it. What's he trying to sell me? But man, when you're leading with your heart, it's all over but the crying. So we got to go to our 7 o'clock meeting now. I've got to put some deodorant on. Why the deodorant? Yeah, whatever. And I love you. Maybe I got a lot of work to do, but no matter what it is, it's showtime. We love you guys so much. Thank you very, very much for being on this.
Love
We
you guys
all.
so.
Thanks.
Yep, absolutely. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, Denise.
Thanks, Tom.
Everybody. That was awesome.
I'm hurt.
Love you. Thank you.
That's what I know. Hey, Trish.
Okay, hold on.
Bye, Wendy.